Hello, I'm Tim and welcome to the Gameplay Cast's unboxing / review of the Warhammer 40k Leviathan box. For anyone who is new to the channel, I recently got back into Warhammer 40k after a long hiatus, and after reviving some past miniatures and spending a small fortune, I still had the hunger for more, so it was perfect timing really. New player, new edition. And I clearly hate money, so I got this puppy on order ASAP. Also, if you want to check out my Miniatures Challenge painting series, I'll pop a link up on the screen now and in the description. Leviathan is the launch of the 10th edition of Warhammer 40k, so we have a whole new suite of rules along with a ton of updated miniatures. The real reason I wanted this box is to get my hands on the sexy new Terminator models, which I think you'll agree are pretty spicy. Anyway, the Tyranids are back in the 40k lore in a big way, and so the box is named after Hive Fleet Leviathan. That's currently headed straight for the heart of the Imperium. The first thing I want to look at is the enamel markers you got free as a pre-order. These are basically a set of objectives, battle shock, and wound markers for use during games. They come in a really nice tin case, and I think if Games Workshop had any sense, they should get these on the sales floor ASAP. On to the unboxing. We have a mountain of models in their sprues. There are 25 Space Marines, future Dark Angels in my case, and 47 Tyranids. Even as a loyal son of the Imperium, that Screamer Killer and the Psychophage are awesome models, and I'm looking forward to painting them. Next up we have the star of the show, the new Lore and Combined Core Rules Book. As you can see, this bad boy is pretty epic. It's possibly a tad unwieldy for a gaming table, but you get 100 pages of lore about all of the units and 100 pages of rules, so plenty to be getting your teeth stuck into. I personally love it, and it's probably my favourite thing inside of the box. Yeah, it's probably a tad unwieldy to use in terms of gaming, but since you can download the datasheets and there's an online companion app and you can download the core rules, I don't think it's that much of a big issue, and it's nice to have this collector's tome to add to my library. The last thing I mentioned is the mission deck for the game modes. This is something that's been around in the hobby for a good while, but since last time I played was 3rd edition and we just played games to wipe each other out, this is something that I really like and adds much more depth and tactics to the game. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to testing out a few of the missions. And that's basically that. You can see I've got a transfer sheet here that I've already started to cut bits out and use for some various models. Watch the channel in the future to see where those transfers have gone. It could be a bit more expansive. There's a lot of things kind of missing here, and it only really briefly touches, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 of the chapters. So I think there's a lot more could have been done. We could have had a couple more sheets in there. It would have been nice, but not the end of the world. Oh, there's the battle to decide the fate of Oghrum. Spoilers, it's already finished and the Space Marines lost. You vile heretics. Sad times. Anyway. Not included is a set of gaming dice and any form of rules or tape measures. Not the end of the world, but would have been nice to be able to have everything you need to play a game in the box ready to go. C'est la vie. On to my second pre-order bonus, a set of game boards. How did I manage to snag 2 of the pre-order bonuses? Well, I managed to snag a spare set of markers from my local Warhammer shop. Honestly, it pays to get to know the manager of your local shop. They are legends. Mine has sorted me out with everything from a few extra transfers, painting and model advice. Really appreciate the help and advice. Anyway, back to the game boards. Bear with me. You can see briefly, they are double-sided as I showed in my video earlier. I don't know if that comes through on the camera, but they are pretty thick and relatively sturdy. So they should last a few years of gaming, and will also help make games a bit more thematic and immersive.
Heresy grows from idleness.
At this point in time, I've jumped ahead and finished constructing all of the miniatures. As you can see behind me here, and as demonstrated by the Screamer Killer. here. Overall, the quality of the molds and the ease of assembly was pretty good. I think some of the assembly instructions were a little bit fuzzy, especially for the Space Marines. I had to carve a few bits again on the Marines in order to get defined edges on some of the shoulder pads and appendages. I also recommend employing sprue glue in order to hide some of the gaps and joints left by the push fit assembly. All in all though, they look pretty damn good, and despite the fixed poses, I'm pretty happy with them, and I'm modding my Dreadnought too, so look out for that video because it's coming in the very near future. At £150, that's $200, the Leviathan box is the most expensive 10th edition starter. The others being the Ultimate Starter Set at $125, that's about 157 US, the Starter Set at $65, about 82 US, and the Introductory Set at £40, about $50. Leviathan by far has the most miniatures and the lovely Collector's Edition rulebook, and is, as you would imagine by the price tag, a far superior product. The main difference is that these other starter sets come with game boards, dice, and range sticks. The introductory set only has around 16 minis and includes some paint and hobby supplies. The introductory set, as you would imagine, is just designed to introduce you to the hobby as a whole and not necessarily into building an army that you can play with. The starter set does include some separate data cards and a softbook handout, but other than that, it's fairly unremarkable. On the other hand, I think the Ultimate Starter Set actually has some nice inclusions that are worth a look. Firstly, you get some terrain pieces to go with your game boards, which is a nice bonus. You also get the softback rulebook to go with the handbook from the starter set, which is a great addition and something that is more manageable than the huge tome that comes in Leviathan. None of these have me regretting my purchase in any way, but they are a lot cheaper and they do have some nice additions. Overall, I think Leviathan was worth the money, especially since I managed to snag both of the pre-order items. I could pick up some dice and a tape measure before I start my first game. It would have just been a nice addition to round out the box. The only other thing I think would have been a useful addition would have been the softback core rules book, because this would have been a great reference guide. The datasheets aren't that much of a loss. There's some in the back of the assembly guides, but as the datasheets are still being updated by Games Workshop as they tune the new 10th edition rules to kind of balance factions, because I've heard say like the Eldari are very overpowered and characters like the Lion have already had some of their abilities nerfed a little bit, so having physical data cards may not be the best option. But they're available for free on Games Workshop's website, so that's all good. Hopefully I enjoy my first game, and watch out for my review on the new 10th edition rules coming in the not so distant future. Also watch out for my continued painting guides, starting with my Dark Angels army, and the first model I'll be painting will be my Dreadnought, which I will be using as my competition entry for August for the Armies on Parade. And that's just about that. I've been Tim from Gameplay Casts, you've been awesome, and all that's left for me to say is peace out and thanks for watching.